Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this. I want to thank you guys for taking the time right now and watching this video. The content today is basically just a real quick update, and I wanted to go over just a few things that I think is important if you're starting your retail arbitrage. I know there's so many videos out there. I get it. I watch them too. But if you're going to start your retail arbitrage, or your Amazon account, let's just say in general, I would highly recommend, if you're scared, get the free part. Don't do the $39.99 until you're ready. That way, maybe the first month you can kind of gauge where you're at with your products. Not all books will sell right away. If you want to do books, it's one of the easiest things to do. Food and gourmet, that one is pretty steady. If you get the right products, I would definitely look into a niche. Find something that would be hard for middle America. Let's just pick on the Midwest for a minute. It would be hard for them to get. You have a lot of products that are on the East and West Coast that are different from each other, and the people in the middle are like, hey, I want some too. And that leads me to one of the things that I've had so far on Amazon. I get messages, not as often, but I do get some weird messages that are like, well, why am I paying twice the amount for the product that I bought a month ago? Well, first of all, consumer one, the price that you paid a month ago was probably from a seller who didn't know what they were doing. And if they did know what they were doing, they were selling it so cheap because they're selling in volume, supply and demand, basic economics, different seller, different cost. I mean, there's all these differences, and yet these consumers, some of them are educated on the fact that Amazon is just a platform, but some people just think, hey, Amazon's selling all this stuff. So I don't know, I don't get it, I don't care, but it is what it is, and I'm sorry that you had to pay twice the amount because I was the only seller on that particular product. So there you go. So anyway, another thing too I wanted to mention, when you're selling items online in Amazon, try not to undercut the lowest person every time you do something like that, because all that does is that just tanks out the price of the item. Go by the 5 to 10% rule of the buy box. Be a little bit above it, be a little bit below it. If you try to stay within that realm, that's the target. Just because you have a product that's lesser than the buy box, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to sell. You get a lot of times, the majority of the people on Amazon have Prime anyway, so they're just going to go for the buy box, and the lowest cost is for those people that are going to want to buy something at a cheaper rate, and you're going to have problems. They're going to complain about every little thing. So I just go by the buy box, and if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I am seller fulfilled, so I don't get it all the time. Obviously, FBA sellers get it more often, I would say the majority of the time. And speaking of which, we had seller fulfilled Prime last week for one day for like an hour and a half, maybe a couple hours, because I had to go home and turn it off. Oh my God. That was horrible. I mean, I have it now set up so it's just regional and nothing's happening. So I have it for California, Arizona, and Nevada. So apparently that's the target that I'm trying to get, and it's not working. Excuse me. So the Prime though the seller fulfilled Prime was working, and it was wiping me out for my profits on that particular day for those shipments, because what was costing me $3.83 to send an 8-ounce item to the East Coast was then turning around and costing me like over $22, I think it was, for the same product. I was like, no, this is not gonna work. So these people, and then there was one person who wanted it expedited next day, and I was like, are you serious? They're freaking jawbreakers. I think I did a video on that. I was like, okay, I gotta get it done. I'm not gonna cancel the order. I highly recommend you do not ever cancel an order unless you don't have it, or you can't get to it, or whatever the case may be, but don't cancel it because you're stressed or frustrated. I almost pushed that button. I was like, I'm not paying $45 or I'm not paying $25 for these items to be shipped. I lost a lot of money that day. Actually, I ended up losing only $49, but I lost everything I made gross wise to basically shipping. So the idea behind that is great. You got to sit down and really think about it and correct and modify the templates so that it benefits you. And I highly recommend when you're seller fulfilled. At this point in my journey, I'm doing regional. So if it's anything within 2 days of where I'm at, I will do Prime on that for those customers. But anything beyond that, yeah, sorry guys on the East Coast, you are the best. You really are. Florida, all the way up to Maine. My eBay is constantly sending things out that way. Amazon constantly sending things out there. I love the Midwest. Not so much California people for some reason. I mean, I've got a handful of people up in Washington, a couple Spreckles in Oregon. You know, there's the west of the Mississippi is just a little bit. So, but the East Coast is rocking it. I mean, if I lived in Middle America, I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. So anyway, guys, I know this video probably doesn't have a whole lot of content in it. I do apologize. I do love you all. And you know what? We're at 50 subscribers, man. Who would have known, you know? It is what it is. It's taken me a while to even get that far. But the hustle is a grind. And continue doing what you do. Don't quit your job until you really seriously, really need to. Because you never know. I mean, some days we make hundreds of dollars and then some days we make zero. So it is kind of a beast, and it's retail. I mean, if you've never been in retail before, it's an eye-opener. And if you have been in retail, you'll totally understand it. But you have to look at it like this before I go. You're making money while you sleep. That's all you have to think about. Like, if you don't quit your job and you still go to work and you can still work out the routine where you can fit in packing and shipping and all that other stuff inside your day, and have a system, then it'll work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, then you need to adjust yourself a little bit or have someone help you. But you know, I haven't quit my jobs yet. I don't need to. I don't want to at the moment because I'm not 100%. I mean, I've been doing eBay for years and it's always been a side thing. And Amazon is probably going to be that way for a bit until we figure things out. It's just, you know, at a position in my life right now where I can't rely on doing that every day and supporting myself and my family. So it is one of those things. I'm driving a what year is this? 13-year-old car. I'm not ready yet. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell down below, comment if you like, and I will see you guys on the next video. And peace out, work hard, and the hustle is a grind. Take care.